Well, the money keeps pouring back into the hedge funds, but given the new era of regulation, many of those funds are cutting jobs and changing the rules of the game like never before. Some thoughts now from Greg Zuckerman, author of the new book, The Greatest Trade Ever, about legendary hedge fund manager John Paulson, and also trading coach Doug Hirschhorn. His new book is called 8 Ways to Great. Gentlemen, nice to have you here.
Good seeing you again.
So, Greg, what are you hearing? I mean, it seems as though there's kind of feast or famine out there. Those who have a large client base may be doing okay and not cutting back as much, but others do seem to be looking at the regulatory environment in Washington and thinking twice.
It's generally a pretty good year for hedge funds. If you remember last year, hedge funds got crushed along with the market, down about 20%, and more importantly, a lot of them put up these gates limiting how their investors could withdraw money. This year, hedge funds are up about 20%, close to the market overall. But more importantly, investors are starting to come back. And it's not high net worth kind of wealthy investors or even endowments who have their own issues. It's more pension plans. And they're focusing on the big funds, but they're looking for kind of smaller guys as well. And
Doug, what are you hearing from your clients, from the people who actually manage that money and trade? Are they finding they can do with less?
What they're finding is that the bar of talent has been raised, and so there's a higher expectation of only the best of the best are going to be at the top of this pyramid, and that the money, while it is coming in from some of those areas that Greg's talking about, it's going into the best of the funds around the board.
My understanding was, we were talking earlier, was that yes, it's going to be a good year for hedge funds, and yet they're retracting unemployment. Is that the bottom line here?
Yes.
Why?
Because they want to have the best talent. It's like the New York Yankees, right? There's only a certain number of spots, and 50 people want to play, but the reality is they're saying, we only need 9 people in the infield.
But aren't they facing higher costs because of regulation, and aren't they also having to abandon 2 and 20?
Yes, and that's probably what's on the horizon. That's scaring them a lot. There's regulation, there's tax concerns. The 2 and 20 model is probably going to die, and it's going to revert to more of a how do we keep our high-performance employees incentivized and comped properly.
What do you think, Greg?
Agree with that? Do I agree? I don't think the 2 and 20 model is going away. No. If anything, you're seeing actually we all kind of expected it to come down and to these guys to charge a little bit less, but some are starting to talk about charging more. I'm also seeing a lot of talk about leverage, and over the last few years, there's been a lot of pressure and talk about regulators and scrutinizing leverage of hedge funds, and they did take it down along with the Wall Street banks. But in the last few months, I'm hearing a lot of people talking about increasing their leverage. Obviously,
give us some numbers from what to what.
It's all over the board, so I don't want to kind of make it's hard to generalize about the hedge fund industry, but I'm hearing all kinds of banks being asked by hedge funds for more leverage, and it's really cheap to borrow money now, and a lot of these guys are pushing the market higher as a result.
Greg, did you say that actual contributions into hedge funds are up 20%, or that their returns are up 20%?
Returns are up 20%.
So hang on a minute, Greg. The whole market, since the March lows, is up 50% or 60%.
Right, they're behind.
If I'm paying even 1 in 10 or 2 in 20, aren't I going to be a little disappointed if my hedge fund's up only 20%?
Yeah, listen, I'm no defender of the hedge fund industry, but they argue that their job isn't to match the S&P 500. They're supposed to hedge, as in the name, hedge funds, so they're not supposed to do as well.
They're supposed to beat it, man, for those extra fees.
Why wouldn't I pay? Well, yeah, if I'm paying that, why don't I expect to get more?
Well, it is after fees. Those returns are after fees, but probably well taken. A lot of these guys charge an arm and a leg, and they can't beat the market. And there's something of a shakeout. Last year, about 15% of the whole industry closed down. This year, it's still about 10%. So people are voting with their feet.
Doug, anytime you see 15% of your brethren go out of business, no wonder these guys want to trim, even though their business is coming back.
But the capital's coming in. They're saying basically we need people to be able to handle and manage larger pools of capital. And what I think we're getting to is a performance-based model. The days of show up, open the door, get 2%, I'm saying that's what I'm hearing is going to die. It's going to be, okay, you want to get paid big bucks? You better make big bucks and return big bucks and take the risk.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.